Welcome to Astro Weekly for the week of November 4th until November 10th. And this week should be very interesting as the United States is having a huge election. Remember that last week's situation is continuing this week, and that means the opposition of Mars against Pluto, as well as Venus in Sag opposite Jupiter, who's retrograde in Gemini. And I recommend you to watch the other weekly before this one to know more about these oppositions. But I think what's really relevant is that Mars Pluto situation, as that is about power dynamics and a standoff of leadership, of huge changes in big systems such as politics, which is why we should watch out for the American elections, no matter if you are in the US or not, because this energy should be interesting. It's very confrontational, very difficult. So we might see stuff regarding leadership strongly this week. This is also due to because from Monday on, Mars is in the sign of Leo for the coming 7 months, and that is quite intense, right? That is a very long period. In Leo, we are talking about leadership topics. We are talking about those in charge, the royal families, children, and also, famous people. So we should hear some very interesting, deep, dark, secretive things about this, because Pluto is forcing them out, as Pluto is opposite this Mars. We are called with this Mars in Leo for the coming 7 months to be very brave regarding our heart's desires, our heart motivations. Basically, our heart has to be in it, and we are strongly called to do so. And it's also about confronting your own darkness with that Pluto opposition to see what is in your heart, what is your heart's desire, and can you be brutally honest about it and follow that path. You might have a sort of second chance once Mars goes into retrograde, that you have a retrospective period about, checking in with those heart's desires and your motivations to adapt them to this new situation that we are catapulted into by the universal energies that are clearly shown in the astrology, right, of today and of coming time, strongly into 2025, 26, and 2030, and so on, right? So not only is it about courageously following the calling of your heart, it is also about being very strong and firm in your opinions, in what you want to stand for, and to really express yourself quite strongly, proudly, boldly, to be more you and to put you into those goals or aspirations or motivations that you have. So, we are very grandiose the coming 7 months, and we're very eager to follow the heart, because the retrograde is not only going to occur in Leo but also in the Crab, which is both heart-based energies. One is the sun and one is the moon. I'm famous for the lunation situation, which is about the luminaries, right? The moon and the sun. Obviously, we are in the solar system, so the sun is our main character. It's the, everything. It's the core. Everything revolves around it. It's life-bearing. And the moon is just a reflection of all of it, a sort of a reminder and the embodiment of all these things. And we live by the moon cycles, right? as much as the sun cycles, I would add. But so it's very interesting that Mars is going over these luminaries in its retrograde, right? So not only are we strongly confronted between dark and light because of the Pluto opposition that kind of continues for almost all of these months, and so we really have to think about our hearts and whatever that means for us for a very long time. And it's okay, as I said, to change your mind, to change your goals, and to actually kind of do the research, even emotionally or like introspectively, by looking within, right? By finding a clearer path for you, a path that is more you. This, yeah, it should be very interesting where this will lead us, because I think making heart-centered decisions and goals is very, very important. So yeah, that's the energy on Monday, as well as the sun in Scorpio trining Saturn, who's retrograde in Pisces. Now these are, of course, both water energies, and this gives us a little punch to that Mars in Leo, I would say, because it's long-term goals. It's like, you know, feeling motivated and devoted to a certain goal, and to have the longevity connected to it. And, you know, water is very emotional, very sensitive, very intuitive, psychic. And so that would be an excellent pair to the Mars in Leo energy. So both these energies on Monday could show us a really new path, where, you know, for a long time we want to move towards whatever that is for you. On Thursday, we have our planet Mercury regarding our mind, right? Information, news, the words we use. It's about the writing, the speaking, but potentially also mobility. So cars, bikes, anything with wheels. And also, you know, your neighborhood potentially. So close by situations that Mercury rules, as well as siblings or aunts or, you know, the next to kin, so to speak. That planet, Mercury, is starting its pre-shadow period on Thursday. So those who know a bit about astrology usually know about the Mercury retrogrades, and my opinion and sort of my own personal statistics is that Mercury retrograde somehow is very strong these last couple of years. It's so strong that we already feel it in the pre-shadow period. So from Thursday, Mercury regarding, right, like I said, all the communication stuff. It also means communication devices, so your electronics, your computer, your telephone, all that. You know, can experience situations, difficulties. And so, you know, you might really experience that quite strongly, or like miscommunication, saying something you didn't want to say, you know, blurting out a secret, or just typing something completely what you didn't meant. You know, all these situations, sending an email that you didn't intend to send to this person, stuff like that. And it also means that we're much less focused around information. So you might skip a detail, you might not read correctly. All of that starts heavily from Thursday on. If you're sensitive, you might even notice it earlier. As I'm recording this on Tuesday already, can feel the energy, having technological disruptions already. And that's because Mercury's very strong these last few years. And so we really experienced the pre-shadow quite strongly. The actual retrograde, when Mercury is, you know, seemingly for us going backwards starts November 26th, which is like, you know, a little less than 3 weeks away. But as I said, the pre-shadow is pretty strong. So, yeah, I mean, you know, there's a controversy around astrologers. Some say, you know, oh, just do whatever you want. But I don't know. I feel Mercury retrograde strongly. I'm not even a mercurial chart or anything. You know, I don't even have strong like Gemini placements or Virgo, and I still can really sense it and see its direct consequences. So I'm one of those classic astrologers that will tell you that personally, I would watch out anything related to communications, your personal, you know, whatever you write, send, or whatever. And also be careful with buying electronics. Be careful with buying expensive products because you might just be disappointed, or it might go into discount the next week or so. You know, that's the Mercury funnery, so to speak. A little mischievousness that Mercury also represents, okay? A little getting the Mickey out of you, okay? So unfortunately, this is kind of bad news for the Black Friday sales because that will occur after November 26th, right? And that would indicate that unfortunately, this is not nice, but that the stuff we buy around that might have technological issues. And again, like I said, you should be careful with what you purchase unless it's doable to you financially. Just don't be surprised if there's a malfunction with whatever you buy or do. And also, you should really be careful with mobility, all right, on the bicycle and on the in the car and all that, as Mercury is about that. And in Sag, you know, we might also be a bit too carefree, and so you can make mistakes, right? And be unnecessarily fast, perhaps, with Sagittarius. What is so interesting around that Mercury retrograde, which is the last of this year, okay? But yeah, we are wrapping up this year's, right? What is so interesting is that from a bigger perspective, and that is very Sagittarius, this year, 2024, started with a Mercury retrograde at 22 degrees of Sagittarius until January 2nd, okay? And so now this last Mercury retrograde of 2024, the same year, starts at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, moves back to 6 degrees of Sagittarius December 15th, and the post shadow, which is like the aftermath, right? The planet gets its energy back, its movement back. That lasts kind of till January 3rd, and so it moves back to the 22nd degree of Sag. So there's something really significant about the 22 degrees of Sagittarius in your chart. So if you have anything around it, plus minus, I'd say 3 degrees, is very strong. So it's very personal to you, this reflective period, this call for slowdown, introspection of Mercury. And you should, you know, therefore look at your beliefs, the way you digest information, how you might need to learn more, get more facts, you know, expand your knowledge, go back to certain things that you worked on. This is actually for all of us, but especially if you have anything around 22 degrees of Sagittarius, it's what you have been working with kind of all year, because there are 2 Mercury retrogrades this year that work with this specific degree in 1 year. That's very, very fascinating. So I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but 27 degrees of Sagittarius is the galactic center, so the center of our Milky Way galaxy that we live in. And, you know, maybe it's regarded to that, but it is a little far away. But yeah, so we need to be very reflective about our beliefs, our perhaps religious views, our dogmatic views, you know, our strong opinions, you know, is it backed with the right information? Do we need to learn more? Do we need to be more adventurous? Do we have desire to see new places and expand our horizon? So a lot of perspective upgrades need to happen, I'd say, with this Mercury retrograde situation. So that starts on Thursday strongly, okay? On Saturday, we have Venus in Sagittarius, again, that Sagittarius energy, squaring Neptune in Pisces retrograde, both at 27 degrees. Because this is a square, it kind of is about a conflict, a sort of a battle between both arguably negative expressions of these signs. So, you know, this can lead to very unrealistic opinions or expectations, maybe illusionary perspectives or ideas. You know, you might be missing some facts, some clarity. Maybe there are belief issues also in the collective, right? This could be religious issues. Yeah, but because Venus is about our finances and relationships as well, right? Or even our self-esteem, this could be about somehow, because Neptune is still retrograde, we do have some clarity. We might come to a realization, an awareness of perhaps our financial blocks and what's really deep in the subconscious that Neptune rules. So this could also be a potential for great healing and quite a potential to change your beliefs, to change what you envision, what you imagine, so that you can upgrade, manifest more of your dreams into your life, okay? And again, because of that Venus element and because Neptune both are about love, I'd say it's also maybe wanting very inspiring relationships, and that you feel the urge and the push to find the inspiration around you, okay? And maybe you're inspired to follow the vision, follow your imagination, follow your interests as well of creativity, perhaps, okay? On Sunday, we start the square between Mercury and Sagittarius, right? Who's now in the pre-shadow period, squaring Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Kind of the same topics because it's Sagittarius and Pisces, just like, you know, Venus and Neptune on Saturday. On Sunday, from Sunday on, I'd say until the next week, we might have serious issues around information, missing facts, missing clarity, you know, kind of not making sense in how we speak and express ourselves, and also maybe in like a bit in that deep reflective mode already, like how to upgrade our lives, how to make our lives, our dreams real, because that Saturn will demand it from Mercury, right? So it really builds upon the energy of Saturday that, you know, Saturn also demands from Mercury. Talk the walk the talk, you know, make it happen. Be serious about what you're saying, what you're wanting. Be serious about your imagination and your vision, and kind of to find the right words, the right communication style, the right thoughts to implement it, to make it real, tangible, physical. And it's really playing with higher perspective. So it's kind of beyond words. We really have to use our mental space to kind of believe in our thoughts. That's what it is. Believe in what you want, and then take the responsibility, says Saturn, to make your thoughts an actuality. I think that's pretty clear, right? So yeah, that's this week. Pretty, yeah, not that heavy in the sense of not so much going on, except that there is still an ongoing Mars-Pluto opposition, which is very difficult. And so yeah, again, all eyes are on the US elections, but it does not mean only in that region. We might also see, unfortunately, difficulties, conflicts in other places around the world. Remember that Mars in Leo, now opposite Pluto, is changing a little bit of the topics, in the sense that we're going to see more issues, right, regarding children, royals, leaders, and famous people. So a lot of that we might hear more about. We will be made aware of whatever is going on in the background that has been hidden for a long time, and stuff like that might really come out again in the 7 months that Mars is in Leo. So all in all, if you can take anything from this, follow your heart very strongly. You'll be on the right path. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.